You're listening to Off the Vine with Kaitlyn Bristowe.
Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Vine. I'm your host, Kaitlyn Bristowe. Today's guest is someone so many women have learned from, followed, admired, maybe even quietly stalked on Instagram while trying to figure out their next career move. Jaclyn Johnson is the founder of Create and Cultivate, a brand that became one of the biggest communities for ambitious women, founders, creators, entrepreneurs, but I'm talking like you're not here. I'm just going to talk to you.
No.
Your story is not just all I built this successful thing and everything was perfect. You built it, you sold it, you burned out, you bought it back, you moved through a cancer journey, stepped into angel investing, launched this new company. How do you say it? Cherub. Moved back to New York. Now you're dating, living with your new boyfriend, and helping women understand money, ownership, investing in ways that I think doesn't feel like bunch of men invest gatekeeping the room. I feel like you're really you're helping everyone understand. And we basically just talk about everything.
Yeah.
Everything from A to Z that you've gone through in your life and how you got to where you are. So I think you guys are really going to enjoy this conversation. And I'm not just saying that because she's sitting right here. We'll just jump into it. We were just talking about how hot France was.
Burning.
But then we come back here and New York is supposed to get like a heat wave of 100 degrees.
So everyone's like, it's so hot in New York right now. I think it's Arctic comparatively.
You're like
walking
chilly,
here
actually.
is like a breeze. Beautiful. Like who could even
I know I have a jacket on.
A long sleeve is insane. I had a cold water bottle and a fan just like walking around the streets. It was crazy.
It was so hot. And we were talking about airplane food because I feel very swollen today. And I'm like, well, I did eat my way through. Actually, it was so hot. My appetite was so off that I was sad about it because I wanted to eat my way through Paris. And I was just like, it's so hot. I just want water. But airplane food gets me every time. I love it. I don't know if it's the salt. I don't know if it's just the luxury of eating food in the air, but it tastes so good to me. And some people think I'm crazy for that. But anyways, you were like, oh, what airline did you fly? And I said, Air France. Okay. And I can't remember if I told you guys this or not on the podcast before, but I'm going to say it again because it's important. Everybody should follow Rachel Points on Instagram.
Okay.
She saved me approximately $20,000. I swear to you, because I have the Amex Platinum card.
Same.
Okay. There's so many benefits that you probably don't know you have.
Definitely.
Well, you might because you're smart.
I don't.
But
My boyfriend's like, you are wasting so much money. I don't do anything with my Amex.
Okay.
Tell me everything.
You follow this girl, Rachel Points, because she said, if you have Amex Platinum, you probably didn't know you had this. So all of a sudden, I'm looking up flights to Paris because I went for the Louis Vuitton fashion show. My girlfriends work for them and they put on this incredible show. It was amazing. And I was looking at flights and everything was so expensive because it was Men's Fashion Week and it was like some DJ jazz festival.
I was there for the music festival. We must have just missed each other.
We must have. I was there too.
Diplo was playing in the streets. It was crazy.
Yes.
I forget the name of it, but yes, continue.
Okay, same. And it was so fun, but man, it was expensive. And so I looked at the flight on Delta because I'm a Delta ho, and it was like more than $8,000 for
Insane.
one way. And I was like, well, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then I thought I'm not going to Paris, but then I saw her say this about the Amex card. So I went and I looked into it. Now, usually I'd just be like, screw it, I'll pay the money. Maybe not that much, or I just won't go. But I was like, I'll look into this. I found out on, it's like point.me that you can link your card through this point system. I got a round trip business class for under $1,000 round trip. I paid $932 round trip business class, lay down beds, and 350,000 Amex points, which I have over 2 million because I never use them.
Yeah.
Rather than spending $8,300 on one way.
This is so upsetting because now I'm going to have to go back and look and see because I don't even want to tell you what I paid for mine.
No, I don't want to know.
Yeah, you don't want to know. It's so crazy.
It's bananas, but Rachel Points will save you.
I'm on it.
And it's crazy because you really can. I should have her on the podcast because I want to learn so much more now.
Yeah.
She has all the hacks. So we'll start there. But thank you for coming on the podcast today. And I feel like we can just bond over our sweatiness together.
100%. I can't wait.
Especially just coming back to New York in a heat wave. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
But I do want to start going backwards to early in the beginning because I feel like a lot of women probably know or might not know of Create and Cultivate, but I feel like we don't know the full you story.
Yeah.
So before the companies, before the investing, the book, the events, who the hell was Jaclyn?
I mean, it's so interesting because it feels like lifetimes ago. But, you know, I was living my little ambitious life in New York City. I was mentioning earlier, I went to NYU and was just kind of, I always thought I wanted to be a magazine editor. Like that was really my path, because I think a few different things. One was, I feel like growing up, I'm in my 40s now, but growing up and seeing movies, like every successful boss woman, magazine editor, right? Like no one was doing anything else, or if they were like the villain lawyer or whatever, right? So I was like, oh, that's what success looks like, and therefore I want to do that. I loved clothes, I love vintage, I love styling, and so I wanted to get into that world, and so that's what I went to school for. I ended up interning at Condé Nast, Avenue magazine, which is like, you know, a socialite magazine here in New York. And like slowly just realized that the industry is not built off editorial, it's built off advertising, right? Like it's like the ad sales team is 40 people and the editorial team is 2. And I was like, okay, so this is interesting. Got more and more interested in marketing, and then ended up getting a job that would eventually like change the trajectory of my career, which was at this company called Attention, which is now like a massive agency. But at the time was this 2 guys who were kind of crazy and were like, we're going to build essentially marketing for, at the time, didn't even have a name, but social media. And so they were really early to that. And so I was able to kind of get in and start my career at this like at the forefront agency.
Wow. Oh, that's okay. What's interesting to me is I grew into ambition. I didn't even, maybe I was always ambitious and I didn't know because I didn't have the confidence to think I could be ambitious. But it feels like in my life, once I started realizing I could do what I put my mind to, I started getting more and more ambitious. But did you always kind of have that in you?
Such an interesting question. So it's interesting. So my parents are small business owners. Like they own a company together. So I grew up around business in my household. So I never knew parents who like went to a 9 to 5. Like they were always at home working. I was in their office, like working on the couch or whatever while they were working. So I never understood like corporate. I understood like work ethic. And so I think I came from a family that had a strong work ethic. And so for me, I was always driven to work. So even in high school, I had 2 jobs. You know, I worked at Banana Republic, iconic, and I worked my way up. And then I also was like working the front desk at a gym. And I didn't like, it's not that I like needed the money or anything like that. I just loved it.
Really?
I was like really obsessed with working. And I don't know where that really came from. Maybe it was my parents, but I think also the fact that I went to college out of state. So like my sister I'm from Florida. My sister went to UF on like, you know, basically a scholarship. My family was like so excited. They thought like, you know, you're going to follow in her footsteps. My parents didn't go to college. So they didn't understand like the benefit of an NYU versus.
So they weren't pushing you to go.
No, they were like, why wouldn't you go to the free state school?
Right.
Like it was like they you know, they didn't understand that side of it. However, my aunt who lives in Boston, who's incredible, was like young single mom, worked her way up in real estate, is now one of the top real estate brokers in Boston, was basically convincing my dad like, no, like she has to, like a school in the Northeast is going to change her life. So it was like this kind of weird thing within my family because I had to get a scholarship to go, right? Because they were like, you know, obviously we're not going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, but like, and so getting to NYU was almost like I had to like really push for it on my end, which is just so interesting. And they didn't understand wanting to be in a big city. Like they didn't understand any of it. So I think the pressure once I got there was like, okay, now I have to do something with it now that I've gotten
Thank God you like to work hard. I seriously was the opposite. I worked my first job was at this place called Smitty's that's in Canada, which is the equivalent to a Denny's.
Amazing.
And I set tables. And I was like, get me the hell out of here. I was like, I hate working. And then I worked at a golf course. And I kind of started to like that because I had my own cart. I got to pack it. I got to drive it. I got to like do my little sales thing. And then I was like, oh, I can sell. And then I was like, but I still hated it. I hated working.
Oh my God.
I just liked the idea of selling something and like work in a crowd. And then I was like, no, I want to entertain. That's what I really want. And so then I thought I was going to be a dancer. And then I was like, oh, I don't even work hard enough at that because I'm not good enough. And if I put my mind to it, I probably could, but I didn't. And then I just gave up everything. And it was like around 29 that I was like, no, you know what? I got to make something of my life. And I got really ambitious.
Yeah, I think it goes in waves. Like, I think for me, I have always been like that. Like I think it's also where you get your value from, right? Like I get so much value from my job. Like I get so much validation, like more so than anything, more so than like a guy thinking I'm hot or whatever. Like I get so much validation from being good at my job. And so that's where I derive most of my happiness, I would say.
Interesting.
Versus like maybe you derive validation from other places.
I do. I want people to like clap at my entertainment and laugh at my jokes.
Exactly.
And listen to my podcast.
Yeah. So you're an entertainer.
I like entertaining.
And I think that's part of like taking all these different jobs, right? Is like, what do I like? What am I good at? And I don't think you know that right away.
Well, that's when people go to college and they don't know. They're so young that they don't know what they want to do. And then they waste so much time and energy. But do you feel like going to NYU really helped like get you on the right path?
I will say what NYU did was put me in the right positioning to be in the city where what I wanted to do was like the key industry.
Yeah.
So do I think the NYU education has made me successful? No.
Right.
Do I think proximity to the places I wanted to be at made me successful? Absolutely. And does the NYU name carry weight? Of course.
Yes. I even know that, and I'm Canadian. And you talked about getting laid off earlier in your career. From where, why, what happened?
Okay. So skyrocketing in New York, doing really, really well. I remember I worked my way up very quickly because I was basically like one of the first people doing social media marketing. Yeah. And so brands were like, and agencies were like snapping me up. I started making a lot of money really young. My parents were like, what is happening? Right. I also was a blogger, not to brag. This is bringing me back to 2007.
I missed that boat. I wanted to be a blogger, but I could.
It was
too lazy.
Like, it was the best time on the internet, I want to say. So there was like 10 people blogging and no one was blogging about themselves. It was just stuff you thought was cool, essentially. And so it was like my little collages of outfits and like playlists and like I'm a young single girl in New York City, whatever. It was so funny. It's still live. If you want to go back and dig, it's hilarious.
That's cute.
But that was starting to take off too. So it was like this kind of simultaneous thing. But then the recession hit, right? So it was like 2009. And so everyone in New York started to get laid off. And essentially my boss at the time, who was John Foley, who went on to go to found Peloton, was like, listen, we're probably going to be laying people off, but there's this position in Los Angeles at City Search, which was a sister company. Same job, same title, same everything.
Which was what? What were you doing?
City Search. So this is, again, an older, think of it as Yelp. It was kind of like early Yelp.
Okay.
And so I kind of had this moment where I was like, okay, do I move to Los Angeles? I was like ending a relationship. My lease was up. It was like kind of a perfect storm. So I went out to LA and they like moved me out there. And like weekend one, I went to Coachella and I was like, I love it here. Yeah. And then 16 years later, I was still there. But I get to this job and, you know, basically like day one, I mean, just work dynamics in Los Angeles versus New York are very different. And
in what way?
So I came in very excited, had lots of ideas, really like raring to go. And I feel like the upper management did not like that energy. They had been there for many, many years, 10 plus years, a lot of these people. And we're like, relax.
Oh, so I thought that was just corporate.
No, yeah, just in general, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I do think I was lucky that the company I work for under John Pronto had a really good team. Like and they were open to doing new things. They were excited. We were all like building together. It was a very good collaborative environment. So I think I came in thinking like, let's go, guys. Everyone's like, shut up and build this spreadsheet.
Settle down. Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then literally within 2 months, I got let go because they said I wasn't a good cultural fit. So crazy. I know. But thank God that happened.
I was going to say, probably, did it feel like failure in the moment?
100%. I was devastated.
Okay. Because some people are able to be like, okay, bye. And then start their own thing. You were devastated.
So sensitive. I was like, I had just moved to a city. I knew no one.
Yeah.
I was like, perfect. On top of that, I started to apply for jobs in LA. And again, this is like 2009. And everything was entertainment or gaming. And like my background was like specifically in like beauty, fashion, marketing. And so denied from every job. So I was like, I literally at one point was like, do I become a yoga instructor? Like, who am I?
We've all gone there.
What am I doing with my life? Yeah. Like, it was a big ego hit.
Yeah, the death of an ego is such a thing. It's always, always, always a blessing. But in the moment, it is the most hardest pill to swallow is the death of an ego, I think, and what it does to you. But then you're like, it forces you to build yourself back up to 100%. Figure it out. And then when you do, you're like, I can do anything. It's so empowering. But I feel like going from corporate to getting laid off to freelancing to eventually now you have built Create and Cultivate. And I want to talk about that, just like a full story. I think it's rare someone builds a company, sells the company, watches it change, and then you bought it back.
It's crazy.
I've never even heard of that. That's so, I feel like I wouldn't even know if I sold like my hair accessory brand, say, because I miss it so much. I miss my wine label. I miss my hair accessory line. I want something else so badly, and I'm trying to figure out what that is. But if I sold it and then bought it back, I feel like it would change everything of how I looked at that business. Yeah. Which I'm sure it has for you. But what was missing for women when you first started Create and Cultivate? And tell everybody who doesn't know what it is.
Totally. So Create and Cultivate is now the largest media and conference business for ambitious women. It did not start that way. Yeah. I had started my first company, which was a marketing agency, and really had no idea what I was doing. I have always been at that point the creative, like working in strategy or social media or partnerships or whatever it might be. And the business side of things was very foreign to me. So I was like teaching myself as I was like building the plane type thing. Yeah. And I wanted to get together women to kind of who were going through the same things. But at that time, there was like no girl boss. There was no like women raising millions of dollars. There was nothing like that. Nothing existed. And so I started with this like small group of women and just kind of was like, let's like chat about it. And it kind of took on a life of its own. Like people were obsessed with it. They loved it. They were like, when's the next one? When's the next one? But I was doing it as like kind of a side hustle, side gig thinking.
So it was like a conference, like a
mini conference at the time. So like the first one was like maybe 30 people.
Okay.
But it was cool. It was like, we did it in Palm Springs. Like my friend who was like running PR at Levi's at the time came in, like Levi's hosted stuff, which was like very cool. Conversations, crafting, dinners, like it was very fun. And then, but like, it wasn't like I was making money off it. It wasn't like a business. It was like, this is just a fun thing to do. My other business did events. So I was like, this is a great like portfolio builder for future clients. And then like the next year was like, we had people being like, where can I buy tickets and stuff? And I was like, oh, okay, let's do it. Make it a little bigger. It was like 50 people, 100 people, 150 people. And at one point I was like, the brands that I would die to work with on the agency side are now emailing me interested to work with Create and Cultivate. Like, love, interesting. Like, what does this end up looking like? And so it was funny. It's like, sometimes you don't recognize your own thing, like when it's sitting right in front of you. And one of my clients was Mark Rose, and he owns a Spare Room in Hollywood. And Spare Room was like one of my first clients, like ever at my agency. And we were like in a client meeting. He's like, what's this like Create and Cultivate? And I was like, this is like side thing. And he's like, that's your brand. Like, you do what you do for us for that brand. Yeah. And it really like shifted my mindset where I was like, oh, right. Like all day long, I build other people's brands. Like I can do this for myself. And so I started taking it more seriously. And then I brought on my business partner, and then like the rest is history. I just love a business opportunity where you create a room that you would want to be in. Totally. And you're like, you did it. That's incredible. I feel like, yeah, I think that's, one of the through lines I think of every business I start is like, it's a problem I have. It's something that I wish existed in the world. Yeah. And I think those oftentimes are the best businesses because you find your people very easily, right? Yes. And so as you're building it and it's growing, what made you decide to sell it? So it's such an emotional roller coaster. So Create and Cultivate was bootstrapped. So we never raised outside capital. We put our own money into it. So I would really say like, it got very serious and I kind of went full-time 2016. And truly from 2016 to 2019 was a rocket ship. Like there's no other way to describe it. We were doubling revenue, growing as quickly as possible, but also being bootstrapped and knowing I wanted to sell the business, you have to show massive growth, but also massive profitability. That's how it works. Yep. So everything you do is extremely scrappy. So even though you're like, look at my big successful business, you're like a tiny team, everyone's doing every job. It's a lot. It's a lot. And so what happened was two things. One was in 2018, we had early acquisition offers, and that was very fast for the business. And so Refinery 29, a few other people came into the mix and were like, we're interested in buying the company. My business partner was Raina Panchansky. She's the founder of DBA, like the first like influencer talent agency. And she was going through an acquisition process, eventually was bought by UTA. And she was like, you should bring on a banker and like formalize the process. She had just gone through this. She was like, this makes sense for you to do. We bring on a banker. It becomes this whole big thing, right? We get 1 million offers. It was like, I mean, life-changing money, amazing, amazing, amazing. We go down the path. We go with the person we want to buy the company. We go through diligence. We get through that. And then basically at the finish line, the deal falls apart.
Oh, no.
Devastating.
Oh, no.
And so I was like, it was so hard to like readjust your expectations after that, because in my mind, I had picked out my office at this new build. It was a public company. I was going to be a C-suite executive at this public company. I had planned so many things around this, and then for it to fall apart. But I essentially was like, absolutely not, picking myself up back up by the bootstraps. What's that saying? I don't know.
Yeah, what is that?
Picking it back up by the bootstraps. I don't know.
I don't know, but we said bootstrap and like the same.
Oh, bootstrap. Maybe it's not that. Pick myself up by the...
It is.
Bootstraps. I don't know. Double bootstrap. And in 2019, I brought on more people onto the team, more like essentially C-suite executives. Best year. Top of 2020, crushing it.
Yeah. We
have offers back in. I'm like so happy. I'm like, this is it. We've got this. COVID hits. We're an events business. Yeah. Nightmare. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm cursed. Like, this is just not meant to be.
You're like, I have a hex on me.
Yeah, there's a hex on me for sure. Yeah. And it's like, building a company is so hard on its own. Building a company that's self-funded, harder. Building a company that goes through a global, like, when you're like, what's the worst thing that could happen? Like, it's literally that. Yeah. And it's like, okay, perfect. We end up pivoting. We end up doing well. But like, truly, I was so beaten down by the end of it. At that point, I'm 10 plus years into building. I'm exhausted. I also was like, are events coming back? I have no idea. And so we end up selling the company end of the year to private equity. It was a great deal for us at the time, especially being like, large scale equity owners in the business. The partners were happy. They also were like, you can't keep going. You're burned to a crisp.
Right.
It wasn't my favorite exit, but it was the exit I knew I needed to take. So I made peace with it. Was like, this is no longer mine. Mm-hmm. 7 months after we sold, I stepped down because we got a new CEO that I really liked. I was very excited, and I was on the board and like still involved from like that perspective, but like not day to day at all. And it was like a really interesting time period for me, because you're like, okay, I have all this money that just hit my bank account. Like, by every stretch of the imagination, I should be like the happiest person on earth. Yeah. And I'm like struggling with an identity crisis. Yeah. Like, my inbox is empty. My relationship's falling apart, like my marriage, and like everything like comes to a halt essentially, because you're running on adrenaline for so long.
I was just thinking that. Yeah. That it's adrenaline. Yeah.
It's all adrenaline. And it's like, and it's trauma response, because you're just like, okay, it's global pandemic, no problem. We're going to do this. Because like, when you're the boss, it's like, you can't break down. Yeah. You break down, everything else breaks down. Right. And so I was just like holding it together for like 10 years. And
then your body goes,
boop.
Yeah.
Body keeps the score.
It really does. So what happened when the adrenaline wore off? You're having, what was it?
What
did your life look like?
So different. So I basically was like living up in Napa, gardening, like just
sounds nice.
It was honestly amazing. It was honestly amazing. I'm going back tomorrow. I can't wait. It's heaven. And I needed that. I needed like a reset of my nervous system. Yeah. But once I reset, I realized like, I don't know who I am as a person separate of this business. I'm very unhappy in my relationship, and like there's a lot of things that go into that. And so I completely like blew up my life essentially. So I got divorced. Yep. I ended up like basically taking time off, being single in my late 30s, like obviously totally different ball game. Really, I would say like went crazy for like 7 to 8 months, had so much fun, but then was like, what am I doing? Right. Ended up meeting my now business partner in Create Cultivate, and did some fun events together that she was really leading, which was really fun. And then like 7 months later, I get a phone call that's like, we're looking to resell the company.
And was it an immediate, yes, I want to buy it back? Or?
No.
Okay.
At that point, two things. One, I had started Cherub, which is my other company, which was still in the baby stages, like nascent. And two, I had this other company with Marina that was like, we were doing events. But my first reaction was like, I can't do this again. Like, at the level I was operating. I will literally die.
Yeah.
And because initially they were like, come back as CEO. And I was like, no, immediate no. I was like, absolutely not. Like, I can't. Because one, the company had gone in such a different direction. It was really focused on wellness, which made sense because the new CEO had a wellness background. That's where her relationships were. But like, there's that piece. Two is like, I don't know anyone on the team. Like, it'd be like the worst thing for the team for me to come in. And three was like, I didn't want to do it. Like, I just was not interested. And so my gut reaction initially was like, okay, let me think of who would be a good buyer. How can we have this land softly? How do we like maintain this? And that was my initial reaction after I got on the phone call. Then I realized like it wasn't that kind of a situation. They were pissed essentially and we're like, no, you have to answer this in 24 hours of what you want to do. If you're in or you're out, or we're like shutting the whole thing down. And I was like, okay. So at that point I called Marina and I just said, listen, this is what's happening. I have no idea what's about to go down, but like, is there a world where what we're doing right now, which is like these like events, coexist with Create Cultivate? And is there a world in which you want to be the CEO and like run it day to day? And she's like 7 years younger than me, very different, like, you know, point in her career. And she was like, absolutely yes. Like, no hesitation, really? Like, let's go. And I was like, okay. So I basically went back and was like, listen, like, if we're going to put this up for sale, I want to like throw my hat in the ring, which changes things because then I had to like recuse myself from the board and like bring in a third party and like we'd involve a bunch of people. And then basically over 2 months of a very gnarly like back and forth, like we end up getting the company back, which is amazing. But it was like starting from zero.
Well, because that's what I was going to ask. So watching it change from the outside into like more of a wellness space, was that hard to watch, or did you disassociate, or what was it?
I disassociated for sure. Also, like I would still go to the events and it was just so interesting because it would be like people had no idea who I am, which is fine.
Right.
But I was like, oh, this is like an entirely different audience. It's a new girl. It's a different world that I'm no longer part of really in like many ways. Like walking up, like it was like people were like, did you check in? And I'm like, oh, right. Okay. Like it was just like a different thing. But I was like rooting for it. I was still like wanted it to be successful. So when you buy it
back, are you changing the concept again?
Completely changed the concept. So basically we buy it back and it's essentially like starting over because like there's no employees, there's nothing. We just have these like assets like for the business. And you know, immediately it was funny because like Marina was like, okay, so we're going to go back. We're going to do like exactly what you did. Right. And I was like, no, I was like, we have like the rarest opportunity in the world. We get a legacy brand that's beloved and we get to do whatever we want. Like we get to literally start fresh.
Yeah. That's exciting.
And so exciting. Yeah. And so one of the things that she was very passionate about that I actually think was the right move was our model when I was running it was so many events, like 75 plus events a year. Our own events, events with brands, events with influencers. Like it was just so many events. Yeah. And I think because the time period that had passed, like now brands do their own events, creators have their own events. Like there's just like that world that we existed in no longer existed. And so we wanted to do something bigger and better and venture backable. And so we decided to launch the festival. And so the festival is a 3-day event. It is multiple stages, thousands of women. We call it Coachella for Career Women. It really is like musical performance. We had Doechii perform last year.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like amazing. It's just
how the heck do you get Doechii?
That's a whole other story. We got her before the Grammy, thank God.
Oh, okay, good. Oh my God.
I just like, it was funny. Like I was like, this girl's gonna blow up. I know it. And we got her very early, thank God. And then obviously like her star went whoop.
Yeah.
I mean, who we have this year is like even bigger and better.
So can anyone come to this event?
Yes. Yeah. So thousands of women tickets. We have all kinds of tickets, student tickets, GA tickets, VIP tickets. It's so fun.
That's awesome.
And it's just like, it's okay. So that's all the fun pop culture stuff, obviously. But then on the flip side, we have this meeting program where you can connect with like over 15 people throughout the weekend for 15-minute meetings. So if you want to meet investors, you can book meetings with investors. If you want to meet PR people, if you want to meet influencers, you book these meetings so that you're getting like that ROI for your career. Yeah. We also have a place called Study Hall where we're doing AI workshops. We're doing pitch deck workshops. Like we're doing so many things. So it's like you can really curate what you want your weekend to look like.
Because I was going to say, what does Create and Cultivate need to be for women now that it maybe didn't need to be 10 years ago. But the world and the industry has changed so much with AI, with everything that's happened. So you kind of have to like evolve with the times every year.
Align. Yeah. It's interesting because I think early days, fundraising and like raising money from venture capital was like a small piece of the conversation. Now it's like all anyone wants to understand or talk about is like the venture capital piece, raising money, building your business. The second thing is AI, Claude, OpenAI, whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to understand how to implement this into their business and not just like hear people talk about it, but like literally sit with your laptop and be like, show me how to do this. And so
that's what
the workshop piece I think has been like a huge part of it because it's obviously exciting to see people speak, but like I just think like that tactical hands-on type content just does extremely well for us.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. Summer always seems to mean more plans, more weekends away, somehow living out of a suitcase. And when I'm packing, I want to keep things so simple. I don't want to be bringing a million hair products, stressing over whether my hair is going to cooperate or not. That's one of the reasons I've always loved having Nutrafol as part of my routine because it gives me so much more confidence in my hair. So whether I throw it into a braid after a day outside or when as I usually do, pull it back into a ponytail, I just know it's still looking healthy and full. It's honestly one less thing that I have to think about. As you know, because I say it all the time, Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand. I love that they don't take a one-size-fits-all approach. So they have different formulas for different stages of life, like postpartum or menopause, plus different lifestyle needs. They're clinically tested, peer-reviewed, and it's so easy to stay consistent with automatic deliveries and free shipping. So let your hair be one less thing to worry about. See visibly thicker, stronger, faster growing hair in 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and then free shipping when you visit Nutrafol.com and enter promo code VINE. That's Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code VINE. This year specifically, what is the intention behind the festival?
Yeah. So really what like our goal is this is the like go-to weekend for any, and we say ambitious women because we do mean women in the C-suite, women thinking about starting their career, women who are like in their 40s who are like, I want to start a business, like content creators. It doesn't matter. Like we cover everything. We have 4 stages. One stage is like all business, right? So fundraising, etc. Content. We have a content compound, which is all about content creation. So whether you are a content creator or trying to work with content creators, and then we have a mindset stage, which I'm really excited about. So that is all about like balance, wellness, like the mentality behind it. We're doing a lot specifically around like also things like breast cancer detection and the things that you kind of like put to the side when you're building a business. And then we also have like a test kitchen, which is all women in food and beverage, like getting your products on shelves. It's like crazy. So you can go and as mentioned, like you can really make this however you want. If you're like, I need to go and find an investor for my business, or I need to go and figure out how I'm launching my business, or I'm just launching a product, like it really can be whatever you want it to be. And like we want you to walk away feeling like you had ROI on your experience for your business.
Like the conversations that women are asking for and needing are so A to Z. Like we're really doing the most. So that sounds like you're keeping up with what the women need.
But truly every girl is doing the most. Like I always laugh, but I'm like, we're learning a new language. We're going to Europe. We're launching a business. We're raising money. We're investing in, I'm like, I don't know any man that's doing that.
No, we don't. We'll probably get so annoyed at me because I'm always like bashing men on this podcast.
yeah, exactly. No, but it's like women who bash men have like the best boyfriends.
100% because we know. What do you like? Are Gen Z founders asking different questions than millennial founders?
It's so wildly different. Like, here's what I'll say. Gen Z founders, and I do love this, have the most confidence and audacity around what they're building. And it's so nice to watch because I'm like, I feel like a little bit as an elder, I'm like, yes, this is what you need. Because that was not what existed like when I was launching businesses.
Which means that the people of our ages are using our voices in the right way that the younger generation are looking up to, which is great.
It's great. It's a totally different world for them. The opportunities are endless. Also, it's like legitimately for my first business, I built my website. I learned HTML and coded a website. Now they're like, I'll whip this up on Squarespace. Yeah. I'll like just AI my whatever. It's like, it's
and
never
they've got
been
a deck and they've got it all laid
Canva,
out, a spreadsheet.
blah, 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 blah. It's never been easier for anyone to start a business right now. And so the attitude around it is just so different, you know, which I think is amazing.
Which also makes me think, how do you create a space where you're talking to 22-year-old creators, 35 founders, 50-year-old executives?
So one of the things that we really talked about when we relaunched the company was from launch to legacy. And like, that is the conversation we want to own. And so I think that's the best way to reflect that is by having diversity on the panels, diversity in race, diversity in age, diversity in position at your company. And so having that spectrum in those conversations cross-generation is how you're able to speak to everyone. Because frankly, like I need to learn from Gen Z. Like I'm like, you tell me your ways. And then at the same time, I want someone I can relate to and be like, that's what I'm going through. So it's really through the curation of the panels.
That's cool. Through all of this, you also had to enter a cancer journey.
Oh, yes.
What year was that you got diagnosed?
Last year.
It was?
Yes.
And are you clear?
I'm good right now. Yeah. So essentially, and we were just chatting about this, but I moved to New York a year ago.
Yeah.
So I'm a big, like, everything happens for a reason, person. So I was in LA for 16 years and I had wanted to move somewhere probably like the year 14, but like, the thought of like selling my place, leaving my friends, leaving my Pilates studio, like I had like
you get comfortable.
You get so comfortable. But dating in LA is like a true hell that no one deserves. Like, truly. And I was like, I never leave my house. If I do, I go on the worst dates of my life. And like, why am I here still? Like, there's no reason for me to be here, but like, where do I go? Right? To like start over? Like, kill me. Right. And so, but I like challenged myself. I was like, okay, I am going to Airbnb in like 3 different cities. This was like my goal. And the first one was New York. And so I got an Airbnb for a month. All my friends were like, okay, perfect. I'll come week 1. I'll come week 2. I was like, no, I need to be alone. I need to know what it's going to feel like to be alone where I have to like make my own meetings and like go on dates and figure out my way around the city. And I did it and like completely fell in love with the city. I felt like back
with
in
New York.
With New York.
Okay.
I felt so much more in my element and alive again and like out of my comfort zone. Like I remember talking to my mom and my mom hates change. She's like, I don't know. Like
sounds
so
like a real boomer.
Yeah, totally. Big boomer energy.
Yeah.
And I remember calling her and she was like, you sound happy. Aww. Like, and when my mom says that, she was like, I think you need to move there. Yeah. Like, and I was like, okay. And so I put my house on the market, which was like a weird time in LA because it was like post fires, whatever. And essentially got this like all cash offer from this girl who's like, I want to buy all of your furniture, like meant to be. Yeah. Like close in 2 weeks. I was like,
cosmic god wink.
Yeah, perfect.
Whatever you want to call it.
So I move here, kicking off my journey. I turned 40. And like basically I'm getting like all these pings that are like, you need to schedule your mammogram, like the auto, whatever. But I was like, it's my first one. Like I just moved here. I need to get like, but it was all for LA. So I had to like find a doctor here. I had to redo the thing. So I was just like putting it off. Yeah. So I'm like, it's my birthday. I'm going to Europe. Whatever. Like who cares? And then the weirdest thing happened. I started having like a pain in my left boob. I was like, this is so weird. Like it kept like reminding me. I was like, oh, I got to do the thing. So anyway, I meet my boyfriend, like new boyfriend, like, you know, going really good, moving really fast. He like, I go to get my first mammogram and they're like, like basically a week later, they're like, oh, it came back like kind of abnormal, like whatever, come back for a second one. No big deal. And I'm like, no big deal. Like I don't have a lump. Like I'm fine. Go back in. And I go in and do it. And then I'm sitting in the waiting room forever. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, did they forget about me? I'm so confused. And so I go to the front. I was like, I'm just like checking. And they're like, no. Like, you just wait. I'm like, okay. And then they call me back. And basically this woman's like, okay, so the radiologist basically saw something that we don't like. But essentially it's like, the way that she described it was, essentially, it's like these calcifications that are like by themselves normal for your age, but when they like clump can be a problem. And she's like, and they're clumping. So you have to get a biopsy. And I was like, oh, okay. But again, I was like, okay, sure. So I started going in for that. I go in for the biopsy, which is like very intense. And my boyfriend's there. Is like, great. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry you're like going on this weird journey with me. And and this is the first time that basically after the biopsy, the woman's like, okay, so essentially like there's a scale and we're going to find out if you're like precancerous, benign, no problem, or it's like stage 0 cancer and it's like, you know, a different conversation and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I don't think it's that. And I was like, okay, great. So I leave. I'm like, no problem. Basically, you'll know within 2 weeks on the portal. So I'm like checking the portal and like essentially like 2 weeks go by and I'm in Arizona for work. So I'm calling the portal and I'm like, hi, I'm checking in. The guy on the portal's like, I see the results. You don't see the results. I'm like, I don't see the results. He's like, okay. Like, I'm like, can you tell me what they are? He's like, no, legally I can't do that. I'm like, okay, whatever. So then I get a phone call back and I'm thinking it's the portal guy. And I'm like, hi. And she's like, oh, it's Dr. Boba. I'm like, oh, she's calling to tell me because the portal's not working. And she basically was like, are you like, do you have a pen? I'm like, sure. Yeah. Like whatever. And she was just like, yeah. So it's stage 0 cancer. And I was like, what? I feel like I blacked out for the conversation because I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
and she
your
was
brain
like,
can't.
It's like double positive. It's level 2 aggressive. It's like she's saying all these words and I'm just like writing it down. And she was like, so you need to call like MSK, like Memorial Sloan Kettering or NYU. It's so overwhelming. You're like freaking out. I call my sister. Obviously, I hysterically cry.
Yeah.
She's Googling and AIing and like trying to figure it out. And then I like call my boyfriend and I basically was like, listen, like, we're new. He had just moved in.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I'm about to go on like a 6-month chemo journey or whatever. And so I'm like, if you want out, like,
oh, no, you didn't.
I did, yeah. And he's like, no.
Imagine he was like, deuces.
Yeah, I know. Could you
Thanks
imagine?
for
But
the
also like that would make or break like
Totally,
a thing.
yes.
And so like it was so sweet. He like flew out the next day. Was like an expert on breast cancer by the time he landed. Was like, I've listened to 19 podcasts and like read these like journal. Like he's so sweet. Like the best.
Bless.
And basically like, here's what I'll say. Like my medical experience previous to this has been like shitty, probably like everyone else's. Memorial Sloan Kettering is like best in class.
Really?
Like took such good care of me, got me in immediately, walked me through all of my options, like walked me through the process. And luckily, I don't have breast cancer in my family. I don't have any of the genes. And they felt like with the lumpectomy, which is like the next step in this, like essentially it's like a mini mastectomy. They felt good about what they had taken out and that it had clear margins. And so essentially like I'm just high risk for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I have to go back like every 3 months.
Oh, 3 months.
Yeah.
Wow. Did that change your relationship with your body? I feel like stuff like that can...
For sure.
Yeah.
I think like it was a few different things. One was like the ironic part was like, I feel like I was at the healthiest I've ever been. I was like working out, eating good, doing everything. Like I was feeling like the best. So I was like, no way. Yeah. But again, body keeps the score. For 10 years, I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't eating well. I wasn't working out. And so I think that just caught up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think hormonally, because mine is double positive, it means it's hormonally derived. I became very obsessed with like hormones and like the effects and where I'm at in like the specific circles and like my period and like how it all sort of plays together because that all informs so much of what's going on in your body.
So how do you track? Do you have like an app that you use that tracks?
Yes, I do use a few different apps, but I will say 2 things. One is you can never get a baseline for hormones because they were always changing. Yeah. But what I did do is I went in for this thing called Biograph. Have you heard of this?
No.
Okay. So it's only in New York and San Francisco. And basically it's 6 hours. You go in and they essentially do every test imaginable. So they do blood work, full body MRI, DEXA scan, eyesight scan, you name it. Like you're in there forever. Wow. It's beautiful. It's like really nice. But I did it because I was like, I just need to know everything about my body now. And what I love is that they connect all the dots. So they'll be like, okay, like your iron is low, but your blood D whatever is fine. So like you need to take this supplement. Or like, for instance, they found that I am like borderline osteoporosis in my hips for being in 41. They're like, that's kind of abnormal. Why? So getting to the bottom of that, looking at exercises I can do. So just like, I like having the information.
I find it so empowering.
So empowering.
Yeah.
Some people don't like it.
I want
Tell me everything.
Everything. I just did a Prenuvo scan, which I love.
The best.
Found out I have endo tissue. So I have endometriosis, which does not shock me at all. I figured I had that because of the pain I go through every month. But like I got fibroids removed. They're back, larger than ever.
How big?
Not I say larger than they're just bigger than my last one, but the like 4.5 centimeters.
Yeah. So I got embolization. Have you heard of this?
Mm-mm.
Highly don't recommend.
Okay.
So
Do I have a choice?
I had a massive fibroid.
Yeah.
It was like not a watermelon, but cantaloupe. Holy shit. Crazy. I'll send you a photo of it. It's like not out, but like inside. It was like pushing against my whole stomach.
Oh
and
my
I found out because of Pernuvo.
Yeah.
And they were basically like, you can have the surgery. And at the time I was like, I don't want to do like a crazy surgery. But they did this thing called embolization where I have this little scar on my wrist. You can kind of see it. They go in.
No, you're kidding. Through your wrist?
It's crazy. And they cut off the blood supply to the fibroid and it kills it. And so it sounds amazing. It was the worst pain of my life. Mamrie took care of me. She thought I was going to die.
Great.
Literally, she's like, I'm freaking out. Like, you're in so much pain. I was in so much pain.
After?
It was, I have questions about it. I don't think they definitely warned me in terms of like what it was going to be like.
God.
But yeah, fibroids are an indicator of hormonal imbalance. So.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It is frustrating because hormones do change so often that you're like, how do I even keep up?
No, yeah, I don't know if you can.
So now you're like obviously very aware of what you put in your body, what you're doing.
Yes.
How's your lifestyle changed?
Totally changed. But I also think it was like before that I was being pretty proactive about it. But like I have cut back my alcohol intake for sure. I'm very specific about what I eat, like high protein diet, lots of greens, lots of veggies, and whole foods. I don't eat a lot of processed foods.
Yeah.
Like even like going out to dinner, it's like one of my favorite hobbies, but
Same.
I have to rein it in because I do feel like shit after.
I know. I think about this all the time, especially moving to New York because I'm in such a good rhythm in Nashville with like, you know, I have a big kitchen. I have my home. I was getting proper rest. I felt like and I come to New York and I'm like, all I want to do is eat and drink
100%
every day, all day.
In like the first year, that is what you do.
It's so, and especially having such a tiny little kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'd just go across the street and have the best meal of my life.
100%. I know.
Just cooking.
I know. My boyfriend's like, you're like such a weirdo in New York. Cause I'm like, I'm going to make my own sauce. I'm going to make my own whatever. But I feel the difference. And I just try to do it as much as I can.
Well, you also have like sculpted arms, and I'm like,
honestly, it's just Pilates, but also it's like for whatever reason, my arms just get ripped. Like
they're so nice.
Thank you.
You have like my dream arms. Now, did that diagnosis and now having it in your past, does that make you want to slow down at all, or are you like, I'm more ambitious and I need to live this big full life?
I feel the difference in my energy levels, and I maybe isn't even correlated to that, but I'm pretty strong about my boundaries this time around. Like I'm like, I only take a certain amount of calls. I'm only doing a certain amount of things. I'm not going to get to the place that I was because it was so unhealthy.
Yeah, it's health. I mean, I feel like women are realizing so much about what matters, about how
100%.
we, fuel our body, how we take care of our body. And it's great that we're all doing that, but it's also scary because it's for a reason, because you just hear of so many horror stories now.
Totally. Yeah. But I think like the good news is I do think we are in such a stage of early detection.
Yeah,
Thank God. Because growing up, anytime someone had cancer, it was like always stage 3 or
You're right.
like the worst case. So thank God. And if you really pay attention, like, and unfortunately it's so expensive, but if you can, like, just push your doctors. Like, I think that's the biggest lesson I learned is like, especially like all my friends who've now had breast cancer or gone through it, it was like they knew something was wrong and had to push and push and push to get the MRI, to get the blood test, to get the whatever. And so be aggressive, like with your providers. I think that's the key.
God, we shouldn't have to, but
it's
I agree.
so annoying,
I know,
but like,
I know.
it is what you have to do.
Also, just on top of like our health, our hormones, everything we deal with, I feel like there's also this weird thing where women are just told to like, especially now, build your own life, make your own money, become whole, heal, grow, glow up, all this stuff.
Exhausting.
And then somehow be soft and get in your feminine era and not be intimidating. Do you feel exhausted personally by the contradiction, or is it just me?
No, I feel so exhausted. Like it is such a hard balance. And I feel like there's so much pressure on women to do. I mean, you can't open TikTok and it's like, you need like this surgery and like this cream and this thing. And it's like, okay, I gotta do that. And then like, oh God, you gotta make sure you look good and like have the best outfit.
Keep going, but I'm gonna show you something.
Yeah. And it's like, there is so much pressure. It's not enough to be smart and ambitious. It's not enough to be pretty and whatever. It's never enough.
Or
and
it's
we
too
keep
much.
moving the bar.
Yeah.
And I think it's ridiculous. I think at the end of the day, like, we have to set our own boundaries of like what we want out of our lives, and like also be like, the only place we need to be softer is on ourselves.
Yeah. Oh God, ain't that the truth? I just saw this and I was like, I know I'm part of the problem, because I was just talking about this on my last podcast from the guy that was in here before you, because he got a facelift at 33. I've gotten like my bleph. And I'm like, am I contributing to the standards that is being set because of my own brainwashing, or am I doing it because I actually do enjoy like feeling young, looking young? But then I saw this. Listen to this.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay.
She's so pretty. Let's dissect the ratio between her cheeks and her nose and her lips and her bust and her waist and her hips and the angle of the arch of her brows and the slant of her eyes and the sharpness of her jawline. And what does she do? What does she eat? For baby glowy, gummy, yummy, plump, poreless skin. And what's her fitness routine? For ballerina arms and a tight little waist and dimpleless tan toned legs. Drop the fitness routine. Drop what you eat. Drop all the links. And what can I do to glow up? What do you think? And everybody on the internet has been asking, how old do I look? What can I do to look forever sexy and 17 with endless collagen for a tasty, juicy, youthful look with an abundance of likes? It's the booming business of being hot. When you wake up, first thought, body check. Are you breaking out? Are you forming wrinkles? Do you have new pimples? Are you morning skinny? Are you bloated? Are you naturally pretty? And what kind of pretty? And what's your season? What's your colors? Anti-aging, 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 anti-aging. Buy all these products and then you'll be pretty. And so what's your ratio and what's all your angles? And maybe it's just time to zoom out.
But that's reality.
Yeah. It's like, you think we're getting so far ahead in certain ways, and then you realize what it actually is. And I'm like, oh no.
No. Yeah. I think like I'm hitting the phase of, I'm like, I want to age gracefully. I want to look like myself.
Yeah.
I think that's also a part of it too.
Yes.
But I also am like, if it's going to make you feel better and you want to do it, great. I do think all of these 20-somethings and 30-somethings getting crazy plastic surgery, like the facelifts and stuff like that. It's just, it makes me sad, because I'm like, I feel like your youth is like, I like looking back and seeing like me being kind of chubby in my 20s and like being like, I'm so excited, you know, like you, it's just like, it makes you. And like, I also think like, I don't want a society where everyone looks the same.
I know. And people are usually hard on me because I have done like a couple things. But at the same time, I'm like, I actually do freak out to change what I really look like, even though people think, oh, you don't even look the same. I'm like, but that was 10 years ago. And you also hold me to the standard of I should look the same at 29 when you first saw me on your TV screens to now at 41. And I'm going to change regardless. But I really haven't done that much.
Yeah, no, totally. Like in reality, I mean, it is true. I look so different than I did in my 20s. I think that's also like when you hit like your mid 30s, like so much of your like the way your face looks, like a lot of things just kind of slim out, or like it becomes like a different thing. But yeah, look, I think do what makes you happy. But
I know, but we got to think about these things.
We got to think. It's exhausting.
I'm talking to myself right now.
Yeah, I know, totally.
Okay, we all know this feeling when your to-do list is so long, you don't even know where to start. Ooh, I feel like that right now, actually. Work appointments, catching up with friends, remembering to drink enough water. Life is nonstop. And if you throw apartment hunting into the mix, well, forget about it. Just forget about it. But that is where apartments.com can come in handy. They take the stress out of finding your next home so you can actually enjoy the process instead of dreading it. So if you want to see if a place is a good fit, you can take a 3D virtual tour and get a real feel for the space without even having to leave your couch. And once you find a place you love, you can schedule a tour online and even apply with one click. So you're not stuck filling out endless paperwork for every single place you're interested in. It's all in one spot, making your search just way easier. So whether you're moving for a fresh start, a new job, just better vibes all around, apartments.com helps you get it done so you can get back to literally everything else. So join the millions of happy renters. Find your next home at apartments.com, the place to find a place. I do want to play a little game before I let you go.
Okay, yeah.
Because we love games around here. I have it on my phone, so let me pull it up. Okay, it's called Invest or Pass.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you obviously say if you'd invest in this or throw it out the window. Starting a podcast in 2026.
Invest.
Tell me why.
Okay, so I do think podcasts are about to have a massive shift.
You do?
I do. I think that we're going to start to see a lot of podcasts come into the forefront that are specifically around like weekly insights, daily shows, things of that nature. Like it's about to become more prevalent in that arena. Like I think we obviously have like the highly edited interview format that people love and that people know. I think, have you heard of TPBN?
Mm-mm.
So it's like Tech Bro, whatever. It was acquired by OpenAI for $150 million, like something insane.
Yeah.
They've been around for like a year. All they do is daily news on like the tech industry.
Okay.
And like that is the podcast. And I think we're going to start to see more niched down daily and weekly shows.
How do I keep up with the times with my podcast? Do I change the format?
I think like, well, here's what I would say. I think like the interview format is here to stay.
Yeah.
I think people tune in for you, which is like a great thing to
They're
have.
sick of me by now.
No, I don't think they are. Like people come for you, right? So at the end of the day, so I think if you can figure out a way to do, and I don't know, you might even do this, but like something that's like quicker, weekly, daily, just you bits.
That reeks of effort though.
It's so much time and it's so annoying. But I do think like more of that ownership would be interesting.
Okay, then my next question is launching a Substack. Should I do that?
Yes. Okay. So yes, I would say invest because I do think Substacks you own, right? Like
what is a Substack for people listening?
So Substack is essentially an email newsletter. Yeah. However, they've built it in a way that it feels social so that like when you read one Substack, it recommends another Substack and you kind of create this like quick following within a Substack. There's a lot of high engagement as well. Essentially, what I like about Substacks is a few things. One, it like reminds me of like the live journal days of like being able to like write down all your thoughts. Two is like you own that audience, right? Yeah. Like whereas like Instagram, you don't own that audience, right? Like TikTok, you don't own that audience. Like especially for someone where creation is like your top metric, owning that audience I think is important.
Okay. AI generated influencers.
Oh, hate it. Pass. Okay. Freaking me out. It's freaking me out. It's really a lot and it's going to keep getting better.
What? Don't we want real people though?
We want real people, but people are not going to be able to tell the difference. I know.
Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Okay. Friends in business.
Oof. I'm going to go pass on that only because I think it can get like it can work, but you have to be so brutally honest with each other.
Celebrity skincare brands.
Oh, enough. Pass. Unless you're like inventing a molecule, right. Like that I'm like not interested.
Okay. Pinterest making a comeback.
I love Pinterest. I'm going to say invest. I will say I think I use Pinterest for very specific things within my life, but I am such a visual inspiration person. I would say now my algorithm on Pinterest is so good that I'm like, I go there when I need outfit inspiration.
It's all outfits for me.
Outfits, home decor.
Home, yeah.
Outfits and home. But
and
like
cooking.
I do shop from Pinterest quite a bit.
I do too. Okay, Snapchat.
Pass. What are we doing?
I agree, but it's so popular with the Gen Zs.
The kids, I know.
Kids these days. Okay, let's go wellness. Cold plunge.
Absolutely not. Why? Hate it.
I used to think it was so great. Now I'm like, I don't think it's for women.
I don't think it works.
I will say when I did it, mentally, I was like high.
Yeah, it does like wake you up.
Yeah.
I'll just splash some cold water on my face.
That sounds great. Okay. Red light therapy.
I'm into it. Smash.
Yeah. Smash. Yeah, let's do smash about that. Sounds more cuter. NADs.
Yeah, on the fence. I don't know.
Because we don't have enough data.
Well, not enough data, but people love them.
Matcha.
That
is another Canadian thing. We say Americano. We say avocado.
Matcha.
Matcha.
I love that.
You're a pass?
Pass. It tastes like dirt to me.
I love it so much.
No, people love it.
Aura ring.
You know, I want to say I don't have one, but I would like one.
I love mine.
Okay, people are obsessed. I need to get one.
I really love it. GLP-1s.
I'd smash. I'm into a GLP-1. Okay. I'm on a GLP-1.
You are?
Yeah. I started microdosing a GLP-1 last year. It has changed my life in the way that and it's like less about like weight loss for me. It was inflammation. Like
I've heard that this would help with endometriosis, but I'm too
endometriosis.
I don't want to lose. I work so hard for my muscle.
Yes.
And I'm so scared to lose it.
I do a compounded one with glycogen, so it helps with preserving muscle. I will say, so I'm on the teeniest, tiniest, the lowest dose you could ever be on. Yeah. You have to work out. Like you have to weight lift. You have to eat protein. Like if you don't, like it's not great. So
it's gonna make you sick.
You have to commit to it, basically. Yeah. But I was doing that anyway, so it wasn't like a huge lifestyle shift.
Okay. Okay, let's go into investing.
Yes.
Country clubs.
Pass. I don't need it.
Private memberships, probably the same.
Yeah, pass, I would say.
Okay. Electric cars.
I'm into electric cars. I like an electric car. I think it is the future. I just think it's taking a while for people to catch on.
Okay. Next category, dating. Dating apps.
Someone needs to invent a better one. So, let's invest in that. Like, let's
invest in a good. Maybe we should start that together.
Yes, let's do it.
Matchmakers.
Pass. Worst experience. Worst experience.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. What happened?
Oh God. Okay. So legally, I don't think I can say their name. Okay. I went for this matchmaking service. When I tell you the worst people I was set up with, I felt like a sick joke. I was like, this is a joke, right? Like, and paying 5 figures.
Yeah.
Like, unreal.
Yeah. That is bad.
Okay. Don't do it.
Soft launching on Instagram.
Pass. Like, we're past it.
Yeah. Okay. Money. Bitcoin.
Pass. I mean, if you can get one for cheap, sure. But
Angel investing.
Smash.
Yes.
So into it.
Okay,
I love
for
it.
people who don't know, I looked it up today, so now I know. But tell me what.
Okay, well, we got to get you involved. So essentially, angel investing is investing in companies in the private markets. So like public markets or the stock exchange, that's where you invest. You invest in the private markets and you make money when they eventually sell or do a secondary or something like that.
I do want to get more into investing.
Okay, so separately, I will talk to you after this. So I have a company called Cherub. Cherub connects creators, influencers, celebrities to startup founders, essentially, who are looking for both cash investment, but also sweat equity. So creators are doing a lot of equity deals where they essentially will get equity in these companies in exchange for strategic consulting, posting about the business, doing press, things of that nature. And I mean, the best example of this is obviously Alex Earl and Poppy.
Yeah.
But there's so many cool companies out there looking right now for creators, and you can get in on these companies that you would talk about anyway, for the most part.
I did invest in Phoebe.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah. Amazing.
Gates, yeah.
Everyone.
Which is so I saw the list. It was like the Kardashians, Alex Earl.
I mean, insane.
And I was like, and that was Kaitlyn
like
Bristowe bottom of
the Super Bowl of investment. I mean, they had so many creators on the cap table, but there are so many good companies out there that are just like looking right now for this type of thing. I have a good one. I have a few good ones for you.
Okay, can't wait. And last, Investor Pass, this is just for fun. Pickleball.
Listen, if it was 4 or 5 years ago, I'd say invest. And I do know a few founders of pickleball companies, and it is a huge trend, but it's crowded now.
I know. I just get excited for old people to move their body.
100%. And it's like now there's paddle or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the paddle. I'm like, what's the difference? It's crazy.
Crocs.
Love. Why not?
I love Crocs. Socks with sandals.
Well, if it's a high-heeled sandal, I love that little look.
Okay. And then Erewhon smoothie.
Too expensive. Pass.
It's insane.
It's like, insane.
Oh, it'll give you the skin bubble. It's got collagen. I'm like, but you'd have to drink one every
single day
for you to start to see something in 3 months. And they're like $80 a smoothie.
Also, the one I got was very sweet. I was like, ooh, I don't even want this. Yeah.
But now I'm hungry because I have not had breakfast and I have a 4-hour drive to the Hamptons. So
you got to eat your protein.
I got to go get my protein in. I'm very big on protein and fiber right now are my 2 things that I'm really invested in. Tell everybody where they can find you, where they can find this app that you what is
Cherub. Yeah. So createcultivate.com for all things Create Cultivate. Cherub is investwithcherub.com. And I'm just like mostly on Instagram at Jaclyn R. Johnson.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming today. I'm Kaitlyn Bristowe. I'll see you next Tuesday.